Hello guys, and I would like to start my vlog today with a question to you. Do you think Ukraine should be allowed to use long-range missiles when destroying Russian objects, military objects, really close to the front lines but on Russian territory? Honestly, as a Ukrainian and a sane person, I believe this decision should have been made long ago. It is actually not just stupid, but extremely unjust to know that you cannot prevent the attack on you and you have to wait, let's say, for a maniac to stab you first and only then you can fight back. Hopefully, there seem to be some changes in the attitude of our allies, and I believe sometime soon we will get this permission. So let me tell you more about the importance of this decision and how we see that from a Ukrainian perspective. My name is Anna. I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel, you support Ukraine, please subscribe and help us fight against Russian propaganda and fake news. And my longtime friends, check your subscription status and hit notification button. Kharkiv is under constant shelling. The people are super resilient, cafes continue working, students visit universities when they have that, and the city has even developed underground schools. Seems inspiring, but I wish no one of you have similar experience and send your children to underground schools because of a crazy neighbor. But this resilience does not save human lives as the prevention may. And for example, today Russians once again targeted a district in Kharkiv, destroying civilian infrastructure, a cafe, people and a trolley bus. Not a tank, not an armored vehicle, but a trolley bus, and a driver is currently in a critical condition in the hospital. This is the strongest argument for our allies, I hope, to give Ukraine a permission to target Russian missile systems, supplies, and their troops that are preparing to attack, and actually a couple of steps, sometimes less than a kilometer away from the Ukrainian border. Drones can do the job, but drones cannot do all the job, especially if we talk about some global groups, really big groups close to the front lines. Honestly, I believe all of you understand that Ukraine will not violate the rules of war. Yes, such exist. We are not going to target civilian districts in Belgorod or even in Moscow. Unfortunately, I understand that we will not even target Kremlin because that's not the way we work, though people who are there definitely deserve such attitude. That's why fighting with one hand tied behind your back is really difficult, and it's extremely psychologically difficult for those on the front lines and their families, observing how soldiers literally stand close to the deadly danger, having the ammunition to do that, and don't have a permission. And once again, mind how diligent, respectful, and reliable we are. Until we are not allowed, we do not violate these rules. And I did not believe that one day I will quote the speaker, Mike Johnson, but he actually said that perhaps the US should not dictate Ukraine how to use the weapons and stop this micromanagement, which is bad both for Ukrainian army and for the United States that are busy with lots of other things, and allow Ukrainians solve these minor decisions and problems by themselves. To demonstrate your support, if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe. This is the easiest but extremely effective way to spread more information about Ukraine, which is much needed in these challenging times. So with these symptoms, like Mike Johnson speaking, more EU leaders talking about this opportunity, I hope, I pray that sometime soon we will get this permission. I think this will be like close proximity to the border, but this will change a lot, because once again, imagine observing with modern intelligence tools the numbers of Russian troops gathering, bringing ammunition, bringing supply, and not being able to target them even if you have the means. And Russians are play by these rules. They actually like manipulating the rules, and they have gathered a lot of supplies and a lot of missile platforms close to the borders, really a couple of kilometers away from Ukraine, knowing that, haha, you will not do us anything. And this is very, very, very painful, especially when seeing this realities of Kharkiv, realities of Sumy region, realities of other frontline zones. And I do hope this decision will be made. We have a lot of air raid alerts these days, and I'm on Instagram, the link you may find on this YouTube description video. And I shared this morning air raid alert, and typically I receive comments of support, but there are people who genuinely, not wishing something bad, say like, oh, that's a good exercise. I don't wish anyone such an exercise, because if you look at the photos, how this exercise running during an air raid alert finished for many people, you will definitely not call it an exercise. Please, people, don't get used to this violence and brutality. Don't get tricked that, for example, some areas are not targeted really often. For example, while working today, I was having my window open and I heard like 4 funerals. Does it distract you? That's not the word. You cannot imagine how many very painful wounds of war are present even in the safest regions. But every air raid alert in every point of Ukraine can end with the death of that one exercising. So please don't let it be your normal, and let's try and influence those who can make a decision and allow us, protect us, at least with 2 of our hands, not just 1. Taking into account that Russia gets enormous support from the other super big, super bad country like China. And this is the official report of the UK Defense Minister, who said they have proof of China supplying Russia with weapons. So those neutral people, those victims of Russian propaganda who say, well, if Ukraine cannot win this war by itself, we should not help it, then it's a fake country. Guys, Russia, the largest country in the world with the second so-called strongest army in the world, gets the support of another largest country, So it's obvious that this is not a local conflict. It had definitely grew really big. And now it is about the civilizational choice. And I always watch Jake Bro, and he quoted Timothy Snyder. And then I watched the whole lecture of Timothy Snyder saying that this situation resembles not 1939 in Europe, but 1938, when if Czechoslovakia could fight back, the Second World War would definitely be less deadly. It would happen, but somehow people want to, appease. They believe that by closing their eyes, it will not reach them. You cannot escape. It is already happening, and it is targeted at you too, because Russia, China, they hate democratic societies. They do. And I know you know, because you're friends. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel, helping me film more, work more, and write more. Join me on Instagram, X, and Threads, and Discord. Check our merch shop with lots of items that work well as reminders and conversation starters, and are just beautiful items telling the history of Ukraine, sharing our cultural heritage, and our drones are there too. And once again, thank you for speaking about Ukraine. Thank you for standing with us, and I'm sure together we will win. Slava Ukraini!